It's Saturday streaming time, Chloe. Yay, yay. Oh gosh, we've been waiting for this one. For how many years? Oh, you're sneezing away there, Chloe. Okay. Hi, everybody. Hi.
Good evening.
What a funny old day it's been out there. Now, it's time to sing some songs. We're pleased to have your company. I'm Jason. This is Chloe. This is our little library studio-y place in our house in Millthorpe, in the beautiful central tablelands of New South Wales. We're Wiradjuri country, always was, always will be. And tonight's all about home in a lot of ways. We're going to be singing some songs and playing some dance tunes that we've learnt from the playing of the very, very great Sally Sloane. If you haven't caught up with Sally's dates, I should give them to you just quickly. Sally passed away in 1982. She was born in 1894. Mm-hmm. And she's from this part of the world as well. We were living in Sydney. Chloe and I met in Sydney. I'd raced off from my home out here to chase psychedelic bright lights and rock and roll superstardom and all that stuff. And that worked really well. We had a lot of fun. But by the time the 90s came around, we were ready to move. And I kind of suggested to Chloe that Bathurst might be a good place. I knew that it was as much home as anywhere was, and I also knew there was some good music in Bathurst. I was very aware of one of my favourite bands in the world, which was a band called Cocky's Joy with Mike Martin and Roger Hargraves and Tony Denmead, bless him, and what a great band, Chris McCusker in those days too. Mm-hmm. So we did. We moved out here, but just before we did, we'd also started playing some traditional Australian music.
Yeah, you picked that up at the co-op, didn't you?
Yeah, I was working at a bookshop and then found these collection of CDs. I didn't really know much about the folk world or whatever, but there was Dengate singing Bill from Erskineville and all this great stuff. And up the back there was a song by a lady called Sally Sloane, and it was The Death of Ben Hall, and I just fell for the song in all kinds of ways. We'll talk about that later. But also the name Sally Sloane rang a bell too, and gosh, in the end I worked out why. We'd kind of almost trailed each other around the Central West all over the years. Anyway, we came out to Bathurst. We met and all the good folks of the Bathurst Folk Club. And Mike Martin roped us in, I think, didn't he, to play in a bush band.
I don't think we've been in town a week yet.
No, have we? I don't know. So
Mike roped us into playing bush, as part of a bush band, getting some gigs around Bathurst. Yeah. I was playing bass at that point, but he soon had me on the mandolin as well because he needed a tune player. And one of the tunes he taught us was Sally Sloane's Mazurka, which we had attached to a song. He was singing one of the has-beens and we'd play this tune afterwards in Jindy style. And it's something we've been doing ever since. Yeah. So in all the years since, we've taken traditional songs, traditional tunes and put them together wherever we can. And you'll see a few examples of that tonight because we've kept playing Sally Sloane songs and tunes all the way through the years in various guises and various arrangements and various bands.
Sally had a couple of mazurkas. I think she called the two mazurkas we know. I think she called them both Mum's Mazurka. So this is one of Sally's mazurkas, and but we learned it from Mike, and it goes like this.
I can still hear the harmonies.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 2.
Yes, I can still hear Mike playing that one too. So the first collected bush tune we ever learned, and I started to realise that this thing they called folk music was all that stuff that was around a bit when I was a kid, in the shearing sheds and people singing. And in fact, I remembered people around Tottenham who had mentioned Sally Sloane and talked about some of Sally's family, in fact, too. And so it was like heartland music. We were just sold straight off. We just knew that that's where we wanted to be. A little bit more about Sally. This song we're going to start with, and for all Sally's genius on any instrument she picked up, it's her singing that is probably the most remarkable. I think she's the equal of any singer we've had in the country. This particular song she got from her gran.
Sounds like this one. Like the singing ran in the family, certainly lots of music in Sally's life. So her grandma apparently was a trained singer. And when she came out on the boat, I think at the age of 22 years, the convicts were still busy building Circular Quay. And on the way over, she sang. And the captain liked this particular song very much. It became a favourite of his that he requested, apparently.
Yeah.
You can see why.
Yeah,
when you hear it.
That's right. It's one of our favourites too. And when Chloe sings this one, I do still hear Sally as well, the way she sings it. But of course, Sally sang everything unaccompanied. And if you haven't jumped on and listened to Sally sing yet, please do chase a link down and go to the library, or chase me for a link if you can't find one. But she's not just one great singer; she's several great singers all at once, And so this song, Sally sang unaccompanied. When we try to work out what to do with them, we're really just trying to tell you, tell ourselves and communicate how we feel when we heard them. Adieu, my lovely Nancy, from Sally, and from Sally's gran. So they called Sally's grandmother, Sarah Alexander, was from County Kerry, same as my Nanny Pies family, and they called her a trained singer.
Yes,
Did you mention?
I did say that.
Yeah, a trained singer. I'd love to know what that meant. Well, did it mean she went to school and had that kind of voice lessons, or did she go down the pub and listen to the traditional singers and hold hands and sing the night away?
I think if you're being invited to sing for the captain on the ship, I wonder.
Hi everybody, Kerith, hello. Greg, Christina, hello mate. Mark, thinking of you guys in Sydney. What can you say? Let's sing a song, eh?
Adieu, my lovely Nancy, 10,000 times adieu. I'm going to cross the ocean to seek for something new. Come change your ring with me, my dear. Come change your ring with me. It will be a token of true love while I am on the sea. While I am on the sea, my love, and you know not where I am, but letters I will write to you from every foreign land, with the secrets of my mind, my dear, and the best of my goodwill, and let my body be where it will, my heart will be with you still. See how the storm is rising, see how it's coming on, while we poor jolly jack toys are fighting for the crown. passed away.
Some of you out there will have noticed that that last tune was not from Sally Sloane.
No.
But it's a tune called The Hut on Staffin Island, and it was written by Phil Cunningham. But to show how new we were to this idea of Australian music and hearing this song from Sally Lovely Nancy, well, we first heard The Hut on Staffin Island from Roger Hargraves from Collector, playing with his fiddle up on his place at Mount Pleasant. I still call it The Hut on Mount Pleasant. Before we even really knew what we were dealing with Australian music, we stuck that tune on the end of the song and left it there because we like it.
Oh, we like the feel of it, the watery feel of it. Yeah. And we got to play it with Loosely Woven a few years ago, and Sam O'Brien wrote that beautiful harmony for the tune as well.
Yes. It is actually one of my favourite things ever, that little that beautiful harmony line that Sam wrote. Lovely Nancy, followed by Lovely Molly, another one of Sally's that we liked very much.
Sally only had a verse and a half of this one, so it's been expanded. It's been built on by from another version we found from Sean Keane, which might be a name some of you know. I'm not sure. Anyway, it took a very different shape when we got hold of this one, just in the feel, really.
Yeah, well, I just love the tune, and again, we were very I'm embarrassed to say how ignorant we were about Irish traditional music. I had a little awareness. There's an album by Van Morrison and the Chieftains that I loved very much, On Raglan Road, still one of my favourite recordings ever. But I didn't hear the music as coming from somewhere else. Sally was unaccompanied, so everything just kind of felt like, well, you just do what you do. And of course, I'd grown up playing blues and rock and roll and all sorts of things, so we just gave them the feels we gave them. And yeah, Lovely Molly, another one of Sally's old country ballads. We did, I must say, seem to be attracted to the older songs that Sally sang.
Yeah, certainly. Sally's big traditional songs are the ones we seem to be drawn to, and that's what we're doing tonight, the ones that we've played over the years. She did have quite a bit of Australian material as well, and we'll get to one of those later on.
Yeah, I reckon we might need a Sally too, because
Sally said when asked, how do you feel singing these old, Irish songs? She said, I sing about Australians.
Good line.
And I can go with that. Yeah. I think you sing about your own experience and the people you know and the things you relate to, no matter how old the song.
Yeah.
These songs keep meaning something, so people keep singing them.
In the same way as a song can seem like it comes from 300 years ago, but I never sing it like it is. I mean, we're singing it now. Lovely Molly.
Oh, meeting is a pleasure between my love and I'll go down to yon green valley to meet my love by and by. I'll go down to yon green valley to meet my heart's delight. Oh, pity me, lovely Molly, this cold and rainy night. I bought my love a bottle and placed it in her hand, saying, fill and drink, lovely Molly, this courtship will not stand. Oh, raise your glass, lovely Molly, leave the bottom dry to me, for there are 10 guineas wagered that married we ne'er shall be. While going to church last Sunday, my true love passed me by. I knew her mind was altered by the roving of her eye. I knew her mind was changing towards a lad of high degree, and it's Molly, lovely Molly, your looks have wounded me. I'll never court a fair young maiden with a dark and roving eye. Just kiss her and caress her, never tell her reason why. Just kiss her and embrace her, it will cause her heart to yield. For the faint-hearted soldier never won the battlefield.
Yeah, the tune got me with that one. I've got to say, it was that melody that I just couldn't get enough of it. It was a surprise to me that this was our music. It was from our home, you know. Whatever we might think about old country ballads, that the fact that this had been sung and was continually being sung in this area of New South Wales, not to mention that just the quality of listening to Sally's voice, was a surprise. She was such a great singer.
Sally moved around all over the place.
Yeah.
And one of the places she lived was, where was Annie Shaw's? Was that Parks?
Yeah.
I think it was Parks.
Well, she was still Sally. She was Sarah. There's lots of question marks about what she was christened as, but Sally. Yeah. She was Sal very quickly, I think.
Yeah.
And Frost was her surname as a kid in Parks. Parks is a town I know really well, and spent some time in Parks.
Sally was in Parks for a while, and then she moved around. Her mum married again, a Mr. Clegg, and they moved around a lot then because he was a railway worker. So Sally was growing up in the navvies camps, learning tunes, and she was a bit of a prodigy, Sally.
Yeah.
She could play a lot of instruments by a very young age, so she picked up all her mum's instruments, which were accordion, concertina,
yeah, melodeon
piano,
accordion,
that
so
sort of
button
thing.
accordion.
And then later on also picked up the fiddle and the tin whistle as well.
She could play anything, and very quickly. She was a prodigy, I think you used the word. Let's use it. I love the story. We're going to play a couple of dance tunes that have come from Sally. They're probably two of her most famous waltzes that have gone into the tradition, the modern revival tradition, if you like. Her next door neighbour was Annie Shaw, and Annie Shaw had a boyfriend when Sally was very young, and Annie Shaw played the goanna. She was the piano player, and the boyfriend was a fiddle player. And when they were courting, you got to imagine in Parks, there's no shared wall here. It's probably 50 metres across the two houses. Who knows how far? But they would get together on a Friday night and they'd play this tune. Of course, Sally picked it up in no time, and this is Annie Shaw's.
Well, you don't know that for sure. They might have played it every Friday for a very long time.
True, Chloe. I don't know that she picked it up very quickly. That's an assumption.
It's apparent, though, from Sally's repertoire. I think, was it John Meredith said she had something like 80 songs and 60 tunes she could play on demand? Was that Meredith?
Yeah, that's the number that they give as a bare minimum for a repertoire.
Which boggles the mind, really.
Well, yes, especially when you consider that they're all up here and nowhere else. Yes. The second tune is Jack's Waltz. I don't know much about Jack's Waltz except for John Mountford, I think, taught it to Sally a little bit later on in her life. And it's a very close to home tune if John Mountford is in Molong, which is just the other side of Orange from us here in Milthorpe. I never lived in Molong, but I played football there when I was 15, and I got my head kicked in. I really was. I was knocked out for quite a long time. It might explain a few later issues in life, I don't know. But,
you'll wake up sometime.
They were big, the Molong boys were bigger than us, and we had a good footy team, but they were bigger. And I was a hooker and I got hurt.
Did they have beards?
They're not quite. As soon as the opposition props got beards, I gave up the footy and decided this was a much more friendly instrument to play than football. No, I shouldn't say that I don't like Molong. I just don't remember it very well.
Play along if you know these ones. We're in
if you do. Very pretty tunes. Annie Shaw's.
And Jack's.
And Jack's.
1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3.
Nice, pretty tunes. And they're probably the first collected
We've known them a long
tunes
time.
we recorded. Yeah, well, Annie's was anyway, back on about
They
album
remind me of
number
playing
2.
with Wonga Willie a lot, though.
Well, I was going to
Beautiful with
say, if we were
dances.
playing with Wonga Willie, or if the late Peter Ellis was here, he was looking down on us, he'd be saying, they're too slow. But we're not dancing,
But they're
right?
pretty.
We're enjoying it.
We just like them.
Oh, Kerith's trying to learn this one.
Oh, good.
Not sure
Keep
which
going.
one, Kerith, but yeah.
Whichever one.
Those are both very, very nice tunes. Sally learnt this next song. I'll use this, I think. It's another old country ballad when she was 12. It's a pretty risque sort of a song.
For a 12-year-old, you see why she wanted to learn it.
I mean, it's pretty harmless, really, but, you know. Well, let's put it this way. It's a song called The Rambling Sailor, or we call it The Rambling Sailor, and I believe it's one of these songs where the sailors worked out that...
You're going to give it all away.
No, I won't. All right, I won't. Okay, let's just say that he's a man of leisure, and he has friends.
He's got a plan.
He's got a plan. I do believe there are some English versions of The Rambling Sailor, and this one, I've got the note here, Sally did learn this from a railway worker who was an Englishman. Jack Archer was his name, and she was 12. And I do believe in some of the English versions of this song, the rambling sailor, for his sins, cops himself a dose of venereal disease. He gets the clap. And he certainly was running that risk.
Well, it wasn't gratuitous.
No, it wasn't gratuitous, as Mr. Dengate would have said, yes. But of course, this is Australia now, and in the Australian version, all he really has to do is go and sleep in the shed. In fact, he doesn't even have to... Oh, no, enough. Hi, it's so nice to see you all. Hi, Roger. Hello, Carol. Eileen. Oh, good on you. Yeah. Hey, so nice. Sam. Oh, Sam, I wonder if you heard Chloe playing your harmony. Did you catch it?
Oh, nearly playing your harmony.
Yeah. The Rambling Sailor. Now, I will mention something else about this song just while we're tuning. It, like a lot of Sally's songs that seem to reach back into the years a lot, more, the older ones, very often have, if you go up the scale, they don't go... They got the flat sevens note. Now, as someone who grew up playing rock and roll and blues, that's the note I heard in the scale anyway. So I was, quite sure that I knew how this one went. I've since heard it done in some more folky styles, but we've stuck with our bluesy backbeat, I think.
travel with your rambling sailor.
Getting in the bed with you, eh? That's how it goes. That's how it goes.
I was all parts of that story at once. It's kind of confusing.
We're running with a little bit of a theme here, because the next song is called I've Been a Wild Boy. Of all the songs that I've kind of heard from Sally, I know I've had a Warren Fay, who was one of all the many folklorists. I should say right now, the show tonight is dedicated to our, with thanks to the work of the late John Meredith, and to Jacko Kevans, the late Jacko Kevans, who really pushed us towards Sally Sloane with Jack had a lovely way of giving you a little one-line lesson and just letting it sit, or he'd tell you another thing and you'd brew on it for years, but he wasn't subtle about Sally, was he? No. Go and listen.
Sally was encouraged.
Go on, yes. Anyway, I spoke to Warren, who also recorded songs from Sally, and he expressed a similar thought that I'd had, that I thought this song would be a hit. I thought this is a song that Sally sang that the world would take on. It just feels like a very strong song, you know. The Black Velvet Band is huge, but this one isn't, and I'd probably go the other way around. Does that make sense? Yeah.
It does make sense. It's got a strange timing, this one. And often, I mean, when you're there trying to arrange Sally's songs,
Yes.
sometimes the timing is interesting, and you could go a couple of different ways with how you want to nail it down, if you want to nail it down. And we really enjoyed playing this one, but just because it's a little bit different as far as the timing goes. Sally learnt this really early on. She was a young girl again when she learnt this one from, it says, a gold miner, Harry Bartlett, who worked with her father in Parks.
Parks again. Yeah. Okay.
So this one goes back.
Gold
Lots
mining.
of cautionary tales for young children.
Yeah. You're right, and I remember arranging this one, and it just we Sally had two kinds of voices that were clear, and one was a very straight traditional style, but she also was a professional singer. How professional? Well, weddings, parties. But, you know, she sang at the Tivoli, the Sydney Tivoli, in the Second World War, at the time of the Second World War for the soldiers. So she was a professional. She had a stage voice, you know, when she sings, unlike maybe Carrie Milliner, for
very straight.
comparison. Yeah. Sally's got that
Sally
thing.
Sally can also go to a very sweet tremolo, you know, you can really picture it up there on those stages like Dame Nellie Melba or something.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
And I know there are some people out there who heard Sally sing and we never did. So if you want to throw a thought in, that would be very welcome. But
and that wasn't Sally at a young age either on those recordings.
No, it's true. And one of her stage things, and it was a lovely thing, I think, I don't know, it was to hold notes. She'd hold them out, and it does. It makes accompanying them very interesting. And there's a bit of that in this one. It feels like it's in time to me. I don't know. Gosh, it's nice to see you all. Not that we can see you, but I hope it's all coming out all right. And it seems like everyone's. Yeah, a great line between two doors. Exactly, Christine. I like that one too. Yeah. All right. I've been a wild boy. Not me, personally, but. I might just watch that. Yeah. This old instrument has got a lovely story. There was a Hofner guitar that belonged to Mike Martin. And when we moved to Bathurst, the time we've been talking about, Mike had already done a sort of a conversion to a bouzouki type tuning. And he lent it to us saying, you need to play bouzouki. And I loved the sound of this thing so much. But we had to twist Mike's arm quite fiercely to get him to sell it. But he did. He sold it to us. And at that time, Jack Spira was a neighbour of ours. We were on a farm outside Taranah. He was over at Hardley, and he put this beautiful tailpiece and the neck.
And the neck, yeah. Classic Jack Spira neck.
Classic, isn't it? Yeah. Of course, Jack has made some of the most beautiful instruments you'll ever see or hear.
Oh, I spent them and more.
down to Newgate, a prisoner I went. I had on cold irons, I had to lament, and I had to find comfort as I lay on the floor. Oh, I've been a wild boy, but I'll be so no more. Oh, it's next down to Newgate, a prisoner I stand, that what I have longed for is now out of hand, and if ever I gain my liberty as I have before, oh, I'll be a good boy, as I have been before. Oh, bad luck to all married men who visit strange doors. I've done so myself, but I'll do so no more. I'll go home to my family, I'll go home to my wife, and I'll be a good boy all the rest of my life.
Been a wild boy, another we would have to think of as an old country ballad, but I say that, but I don't really think of them like that, I've got to say. And this next song is one that's in a similar category. This is indeed the song that Sally sang for a Scottish folklorist, which was, Chloe referred to the story earlier, where the Scottish folklorist said, that's an Irish folk song, Sally. She said, I sing about Australians. Point made, I think. And it's an unusual song, this one. It's an unusual one, and of all the versions I've heard, some of them, people have changed words and all kinds of things have happened, but it's Sally's I like the most. I must say that this arrangement is one that we did with our great mate Roger in Collector. It was Roger and us sitting down with this one, so thanks to Roger for a little bit for some of the beautiful work behind the song, which we call The Wee One. And we're going to actually play a set here, so we're going to play a tune from Sally as well. This is one of my favourite tunes she played. I have no idea how close we are to
We
what...
learnt this one from Roger.
Yeah, we learned it from Roger.
It doesn't look so different to the dots, what we do.
I believe it's related to some Irish tunes. Sally called it Sporting Paddy. It's a bit of a clue. And
I see Ian Hayden says on his website that this tune is related to an Irish reel called The Old Wheels of the World. I don't know if anyone knows that one.
Thanks, Danielle. Saturday night. Emma can't like the live feed. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry, Emma. The problem can be at this end and another end. Like I say, we sacrifice to the internet gods, but sometimes they still get a bit angst, to be honest.
They're capricious.
Yes. Sporting Paddy, I don't know where this song comes from, but it's the closest I've ever found in the Australian tradition to... I can imagine the Easy Beats playing this one, if you can go with me with their 60s garage band sort of thing going on. But yeah, here's the set, The Wee One.
and leaves me a wee one that ne'er is my own. Oh dear, oh, the day I got married, I wish I was single again, with a weeping and wailing and rocking the cradle, and nursing a wee one that ne'er is my own. While I'm at work, the wife's on the rantan with some other young man. She goes out and she leaves me and falsely deceives me, and leaves me a wee one that ne'er was my own. Oh dear, oh, the day I got married, I wish I was single again, with a weeping and wailing and rocking the cradle, and nursing a wee one that ne'er is my own. All you young men that's fond of the lasses, take my advice, leave those flash girls alone. For by the Lord Harry, if one you should marry, she'll bring you a wee one that ne'er is your own. Oh dear, oh, the day I got married, I wish I was single again, with my weeping and wailing and rocking the cradle, and nursing a wee one that ne'er is my own, and nursing a wee one that ne'er is my own.
Paddy via the Easy Beats.
And before Sporting Paddy, there was a tune there from Bob Rummery, his tune that goes with his song Bells and Bullocks. So we've always called it the Bells and Bullocks tune. Very beautiful.
And so we come to the song that started it all for me. I was convinced for most of my life that the best song ever written was Strawberry Fields Forever. It still might be. But the minute I heard, or the 6 minutes I heard Sally sing The Death of Ben Hall, I realised that there was a competing song. And those two songs remain my favourites. This song is an extraordinary ballad, again using that flat 7 scale that may have spoken to songs of a little seditious sentiment in some Irish tradition. But this is not an Irish tradition. This is a song about the death of Ben Hall. Sally sang the song with such emotion. But she also told an amazing story. And I think we can recreate the conversation for you between John Meredith and Sally Sloane. I'll just get this telly sounding okay. Here it comes. The Alv amps, they're worth the wait.
There we are.
Okay. So, on the tape, it goes something like this. John Meredith said,
Tell me about Ben Hall.
Sally said, Mother knew Ben Hall's sister-in-law. She brought us into the world. She was a midwife. And I saw the place where Ben was killed. He lay down this day in ambush near Forbes on the Lachlan Plain to have a rest. And Kubung Mick always used to look after his money for him. And he lay there this day waiting for Kubung Mick to bring food to him. And instead of bringing food, he brought the cops. And when the policemen came and surrounded him and riddled his body with bullets, and Mrs. Kubung Mick knew that her husband used to look after the money for Ben Hall, and when she heard all these shots going into poor Ben Hall, she put her fingers to her ears and said, "Oh my God, poor Ben, that's Ben." She said, "My husband has betrayed him." Now, she was carrying a child at the time, and when the child was born, it had 32 white spots.
Just like the bullet holes, you see.
And that child was exhibited through the length and breadth of Australia for show purposes. True story. Of course, the implication there is that the child was Ben's. And then Sally went on to say, poor Ben Hall, he had a property of his own near Forbes, and all the bad deeds that used to be done used to be pinned onto poor Ben Hall. And he was yarding his cattle this day, and they came onto him and they took him into Forbes for a trial for something that he didn't do, and all his cattle was left in the yard. Instead of the police pulling the slip rails down and letting them out, they was all just left to perish. And when he came out after doing a month in jail, they were just carcasses in the yard.
Didn't they burn his house down?
Yes, they burned his place down, and his wife had betrayed him and went off with another man and the black fella and his gin. He took to the bush.
What did he do when he found his house was burnt down and his stock was destroyed?
Well, he took to the bush then. And he turned out to be a highwayman. When he found out what had happened, his wife had gone, his stock and everything was destroyed. So he took on to bush ranging.
Come all you young Australians and everyone besides, I'll sing to you a ditty that will fill you with surprise, concerning of a ranger bold whose name it was Ben Hall, who cruelly murdered was this day, which proved his downfall. An outcast from society, he was forced to take the road. All through his false and treacherous wife, who sold off his abode, he was hunted like a native dog from bush to hill and dale, till he turned upon his enemies, and they could not find his trail. All out with his companions, men's blood he scorned to shed. He oft times stayed there, lifted hands with vengeance on their heads. No petty, mean, or pilfering act he ever stooped to do, but robbed a rich and hearty man, and scorned to rob the poor. One night as he in ambush lay along the Lachlan plain, and thinking everything secure to ease himself at lay, when to his consternation and to his great surprise, and without one moment's warning, a bullet past him flies, and it was soon succeeded by a volley sharp and loud, with 12 revolving rifles all pointed at his head. Where are you, Gilbert? Where is Don? Loudly he did call. It was all in vain. They were not there to witness his downfall. They riddled all his body as if they were afraid, and in his dying moment he breathed curses on their heads. That cowardly trooper Condell, sergeant of police, he crept and fired with fiendish glee, till death did him relieve. Although he had a lion's heart, more braver than the brave, those cowards shot him like a dog, no word of challenge gave. Though many friends had poor Ben Hall, his enemies were few, like the emblems of his native land, his days were numbered too. It's through Australia's sunny climes Ben Hall will reign no more. His name is spread both near and far to every distant shore. For generations after this, parents will to their children call, and rehearse to them the daring deeds committed by Ben Hall. Rehearse to them the daring deeds committed by Ben Hall.
And so we do. Rehearse to our kids. And I hope you guys are spreading the good news as well. That song is a mighty thing. If Sally had only ever given us that song, I would still think she was the best we had. A couple of reels from Sally now. There aren't many reels in the Australian tradition. That's probably a bit of a broad statement, but I think it's fairly accurate. There's step dances and there are some reels. Cole Charlton from Cuckoo played a couple of beautiful step dance type tunes, but these are three I would call reels. I'm not an expert. First one's, I think all three are Irish in origin, but none of them sound very Irish anymore, I don't think.
Thanks.
Well, I don't know. What can I say? We don't do...
I think that, I don't know.
I've played
we play them.
I've played a lot of gigs on St. Patrick's Day in my life, but it's more bluff, I've got to tell you.
So this is how we play.
Yeah.
And
thanks, Mark. Thank you.
Thank you.
I know you sing The Death of Ben Hall as well as anyone I've heard. So
beautifully.
That compliment means the world. Getting emotional tonight, Chloe. Something in the air or something.
Worn out possum.
This is bloody idiots marching, I think. Anyway, don't. Enough. No mention. No.
This is one of my favourite all-time tunes, this one.
Yeah, the Blackberry
Got
Blossom.
something swanky about it.
It does, yeah. The second tune is one that is very common around the place, The Wind That Shakes the Barley. We learnt this one more from Joe Yates, the great fiddle player Joe Yates is playing, but Sally played it as well. I always wonder if those two, they knew each other.
Well.
Of course they knew each other. But one of Sally's many homes was out there just at Tambora.
Do you think that they would have to?
Of course, yeah. They're the two giants of of course.
Well, the whole Yates family played, didn't
Of course,
they?
yeah.
And
I'm a Lithgow kid in a lot of ways. I never lived there, but I lived in Portland for a long time. Good mining town, and Portland's kind of big brother is Lithgow, and I really like Lithgow. I always have. It's a town I like very much, and that's where Sally spent a lot, probably most of her life, if you added up the years, even though she, like me, moved around an awful lot. But if you know Lithgow, you'll know that if you're coming from Sydney and you do the Bells Line of Road, then you've got a nice big hill to come down into town. Some very rude people call it the crater city of Lithgow. Very unfair. But the last shoot's called coming down the mountain, and that's the mountain I'm always thinking of.
That string is going to slip completely by the end of this set, and I really need that string.
The G string?
No. Unfortunately, no. That's better.
and into the 50k zone. Down the hill into Lithgow. Chloe, it's
How we
8:15.
doing?
We're going to have to make
do you
some
wanna do?
difficult choices.
All right.
A real tough one. Look, I think we have to do this one. This is the first song we learnt from Sally that we recorded, and there was a reason. It's because Chloe's mum used to sing it too, and it is very much one of those ones that I guess Sally would have put into
Maybe
her
it was more on the formal stage. This
performance
one, maybe?
repertoire, possibly. I
But
don't know.
it's actually just very sweet.
Yeah.
My mum used to sing it as a lullaby.
Well, and as do we.
As I do,
You
too.
do now too to the little ones. Not that they're asleep at the moment, I can tell you. They're partying in the back room.
If I were a blackbird, I'd whistle and sing. I'd follow the ship that my true love sailed in. And in the top rigging, I'd there build my nest and pillow my head on my young lover's breast. I am a young maiden, my story is sad, for I fell in love with a young sailor lad. He courted me strongly by night and by day, but now he has left me and gone far away. He promised to take me to Donnybrook Fair and buy me red ribbons to tie up my hair. But when he returns from the ocean so wide, he'll take me and make me his own loving bride. His parents, they slight me and will not agree that I and my sailor boy married should be. But when he comes home from the ocean so wide, he'll take me and make me his own loving bride. If I were a blackbird, I'd whistle and sing. I'd follow the ship that my true love sailed in. And in the top rigging, I'd there build my nest and pillow my head on my young lover's breast.
I could hear your mum in that one, Chloe. Lovely. Thanks.
Which one
I
are we
really
going
wanted to
to
get that
do?
one in. We're going to skip along really quickly. This song,
Optimist.
I'm going to try and get
That's
it.
Jason saying, I'm going to fit them all in.
Yes. There's so many great stories and about Sally, and I'm trying to avoid telling too many of them. But I love this song. It's a song that Sally learnt from her mum. I heard this song very differently, hearing Sally's unaccompanied voice, the way she bent the notes, and the way she seemed to hit a backbeat. And then we arranged the song years and years ago, way back, when we lived in that little flat in Jamboree, actually, Sam. Yeah, and then I heard an Irish band play the song and realised
Obviously
that
Bruce Springsteen sings something.
well, Bruce
a
and his
version,
band did it too,
yeah.
yes. And I realised that either we got it very, very wrong or very, very right, but it's very different at the very least. And something, I don't know why, this is a song, a piece, everybody. This is an anti-war song in my mind. That's the way we play it. It's the way we like to think of it. And tonight, I guess I'd just like to maybe say, can we hope for some generosity of spirit at all levels towards the people in Afghanistan at the moment who need help. They really need our help. And it's time to step up. Anyway. Give it a go. Oh, Roger.
All right, let's.
Right. Sorry to sound like we're rushing. We're just rushing. Right, here you go.
All right.
Mrs. McGrath, the sergeant said, would you like to make a soldier out of your son Ted? With a scarlet coat and a big red hat. Now, Mrs. McGrath, wouldn't you like that? With a too-ra-ra, for the riddle-da, right for the riddle-dolly-dido. So Mrs. McGrath lived on the seashore for the space of 7 long years or more. She saw a big ship sailing into the bay. Here's my son Ted, we should clear the way with a too-ra-ra, for the riddle-da, right for the riddle-dolly-dido. Oh, Captain dear, where have you been? Have you been sailing o'er the Mediterranean? Or have you any tidings of my son Ted? Is the poor boy living or is he dead? With a too-ra-ra, for the riddle-da, right for the riddle-dolly-dido. Ted without any legs, and in that place he has 2 wooden pegs. She kisses him a dozen times or 2, saying, Holy Moses, is it you? With a too-ra-ra, for the riddle-da, right for the riddle-dolly-dido. Ah, then were you drunk, or were you blind, that you left your 2 fine legs behind? Or was it walking upon the sea? Wore you 2 fine legs from your knees? With a too-ra-ra, for the riddle-da, right for the riddle-dolly-dido. No, I wasn't drunk and I wasn't blind, that I left my 2 fine legs behind. For a cannonball on the 5th of May took my 2 fine legs from the knees away. With a too-ra-ra, for the riddle-da, right for the riddle-dolly-dido. Your 2 fine legs were your mama's pride. Those stumps of a tree wouldn't do at all. Why didn't you run from the big cannonball? With a too-ra-ra, for the riddle-da, right for the riddle-dolly-dido. To all foreign wars I do proclaim, between Don John and the King of Spain. By heaven I'll make them rule the time that they swept the legs from a child of mine. With a too-ra-ra, for the riddle-da, right for the riddle-dolly-dido. Oh, then if I had never let you go to fight the King of Spain. I'd rather my Ted as he used to be than the King of France and his whole navy with a too-ri-ra, fa-la-riddle-da, right, fa-la-riddle-dolly, too-ri-ra, fa-la-riddle-da, right, fa-la-riddle-dolly, die.
Sally called that one My Son Ted, and she did learn it from her mum, as I mentioned earlier. And of course, it's a mother's song. It must have been they were just at different times, weren't they? Eh?
Yeah, there were no such thing as kids' songs, really, I don't think. You just sang the songs that were there.
We're going to sing another one that we recorded, another old country ballad. And I reckon I'd hate to miss this one. It's just, there's something very seducing. That's probably the exactly wrong word to use about this melody.
Yeah.
But Sally got this one from her grandmother, a wonderful grandmother who seems to have been where so much of it all started. Hey, she must have been quite a woman.
I think the story in Merrow's book is that he might not have got this one at all if he hadn't figured out that Sally remembered the songs. Well, she was remembering all the songs while washing up, and then when they sat down to record, they were gone again.
It's work music. It's traditional music. It's work song.
So John, being smart, hung a microphone up so that she could wash up and sing. Isn't that nice?
And she remembered the songs. It worked.
And the songs would come out.
I like to think he might have, got a tea towel out
well,
or
maybe
something.
He did.
Maybe he did. But
maybe he did.
Yeah, it's really wonderful actually to listen to those recordings, and you can hear the suds, you can hear the dishes, and Sally singing in that.
Sally got used to people coming to talk to her, and she had a number of collectors and interested parties appear on her doorstep, and she got very good at it. She used to put on quite a spread, and then settle in to sing.
Graham Seal, Chris Sullivan, Warren Fay, Merrow.
Of people.
Look, just very quickly, 1954, the Bush Music Club went to Lithgow on a trip. At the gig, they ran into Fred Sloane, Sally's husband, and they were looking for songs, but there was a bit of a blokey thing about the Bush Music Club, I think. Those were the days. Evidently Fred said, you told a yarn and sang a song, whatever, and then he said, but if you really want to hear songs, you should hear my missus. And that's how they met Sally. And this is one of the songs they got. And this was one of the ones they had to get through the washing up.
Now, we have a phone that insists we only do hour-and-a-half concerts. So if we go a little over, I apologise if we get cut off.
Yeah.
It'll be there on YouTube in a day or so.
That's right, yeah. I hope you don't mind if we say goodbye in advance, but we might last.
All right.
We recorded this one. I will notice it. This one came out. All of these songs are the ones we've recorded over the years, and they're all on various albums. So this was an album that we called Spring Grove, which is the old name for Millthorpe. Speaking of home.
Come all ye maids where'er you be, who flourish in your prime. Be wise, beware, keep your garden clean. Let no man steal your time, your time. Let no man steal your time. For when your time is pulled and gone, they care no more for you. There's not a place your time goes waste, but it spreads all over with rue, it spreads all fair and coy. I flourished in my prime, till a proper, tall and handsome boy, he stole this heart of mine, he stole this heart of mine.
So they call that one the Red Rose Top, but yeah, I guess it's part of a whole family of songs, as is our last one. And
We're still
this
there.
is,
All
yeah,
right.
I hope we're still coming across okay. I think, I took this on Fastbook a little bit during the week to a few people, including Christina, and I think this is probably the oldest song we sing. It feels
Not
like...
just of Sally's, at all.
No, at all, yeah, at all. Again, it's that remarkable older flat 7 Mixolydian mode scale that I grew up playing with different kinds of music. I mean, if you'd asked me what was a folk Mixolydian song, I would have said Norwegian Wood, of course. That's the one I did have. But there's so much more, isn't there? There's so much more. Thank you for joining us. I haven't mentioned once tonight, but I will once, just before we go, that it's a free concert. If you're out there and joining in, you're very, very welcome. You're also very, very welcome to donate to the cause. The website, we'll throw a link up.
Go to Roweth Music.
You can
Easy. Donate. Something I thought of is you could donate, if you want to donate a lump sum and then go and download some albums for nothing, it makes life simpler, doesn't it? Just download for free the MP3s. So whatever works for you.
Some people pay a bit more and then say, yeah, I'll come a few times. Just whatever suits. And if you don't want to put any money in, still
That's
come,
fine too.
please. Yeah, still come. Still come. It's about
We'd
the
rather have
company.
your company.
And we like to eat too. So it all works out. So,
Yeah.
all right.
All right.
Thanks, everybody.
Come all you young fellows that follow the gun, beware of going a-shooting by the late setting sun. It might happen to anyone as it happened to me, to shoot your own true love in under a tree. She was going
by the laws
of the land. All the maids of this country, they will all be glad when they hear the sad news that my Molly is dead. Take them all in their hundreds, set them all in a row. Molly Baun, she'll shine like a mountain of snow.
Yes, well, they don't write them like that anymore.
That's right.
What
That's
a
why we sing it.
I think, my friends, we're still there. I think we might even sneak our little extra one in. If she goes off way on us, she goes away.
All right.
We wanted to not end on that song, much as I love that song to bits. Let's end on a nicer note.
Couple of tunes.
There's enough ugliness out in the world just at the moment to lead me to want to get these in. We've got a tune that Dave de Hugard adapted from Sally's playing. You can actually get to find this on YouTube as a song.
There's a little YouTube clip of the vinyl playing, of the record
Yeah,
playing.
the actual little 78.
Teaching Clarence McFayden to waltz.
Yeah.
And then we're going to play Sad the Cuckoo. Now, Sally only sang a snatch of this, actually. She sang a verse, which sent me searching, and I found the music on the internet. It's out there, but it's called Emmett's Cuckoo Song, and it's a real party piece. It's got the beautiful waltz, and then halfway through, it says, there's a yodel. It says, yes, which of course I have no glasses to read. But it says that although Emmett yodeled at this point, it's a better idea basically to play it instrumentally.
Which is exactly
the wording is slightly more formal, but that's what it says. It recommends you not to try.
Yeah, we actually got the full dance tune from Joe Cashmere from out of Bullocks, and he chose to play it, not yodel. He could have yodeled, but
Could have yodeled, I'm sure.
Oh, I think we might have gone flat. Have we?
Oh, that's fine.
Well, let me just check. And,
Yeah,
we
it's
might
gone,
have
I
lost
reckon.
him. Yeah, she's dead. Well, do you want to play for the...
Give them a try.
Yeah, no, we've told them about it, so we can at least put it on the YouTube.
All right.
Okay. All right.
Here we go.
So, folks, our official phone has flattened itself inconveniently. And it's not like we went too long or anything.
No, we don't do that.
But we'll give you these tunes, and we'll put them on the YouTube clip, and we'll say right now, thanks for coming, thanks for joining in tonight. I feel a lot better than I did.
And there are so many more songs out there, goodness. Yeah, if you're
Look,
into explore Sally Sloane.
We should get into Sally 2, The Return of Sally or something, I don't know.
I think so.
I think so.
Maybe.
Anyway, here we go. enjoying Sally's bit?
Oh, sadly the cuckoo is calling now. I hear him far off in the ruins so grey. Brightly the moonbeams are falling now, with the slumbering blossoms in May.
Happy days, folks. I hope the YouTube works for you, and I hope you've all enjoyed the night. As as they say, if you've enjoyed it half as much as we did, then we've enjoyed it twice
as much as you have. Yes.
But we did have fun, and they are just such great songs, and we could easily work up another bunch of Sally songs. Never too late to donate. If you're inclined, through the website, catching up on YouTube later. If you feel inclined, it's home is where we play at the moment, and if you're enjoying it, and it's great. But anyway, good to have your company.